Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. So hang on, let me zoom you guys out just a little bit. You almost didn't get a video this week, so just keep that in mind. I've been extremely busy. I'm here in Arizona, and there's a lot going on. I have lots of friends that live out here, birthday celebrations, and just various things that we're doing while we're out here in Arizona, building up the land and everything else that goes along with it. So yeah, I just decided I'm going to do a quick little video for you guys just to show y'all what I've been working on. Nothing fancy. Okay, so if you recall, I showed you guys how I did this from the Dollar Tree, right? This was one of those bookmarks that I intend to put into one of my, or at least all of my journals. So here are 3 of the colors that I'm working with. Maybe there's a 4th. Yep, here's a 4th. So yeah, I've just been working on these. So basically what I wanted to show you guys is if you cannot find this project at all, if you cannot find any of these in your local Dollar Tree, there is a simpler solution, and I'll show you what I've done. This is very much similar to this project. Okay, you can round your corners. I have my corner rounder here. It'll make it look a little bit more, let's use the larger size. Okay, it'll look a lot more like that, right? Can you see that? There we go. So yeah, I'm just going to round the corners all the way around, and I'll show you guys how I made this. So basically Dollar Tree has foam boards or foam paper. I don't know what they call it. Hang on. Let's see what they call it. So this is what it looks like, foam sheets, okay? This is what it looks like in the dollar store under the Crafter Square brand in their crafting section. I just grabbed a couple of packs of these foam sheets, and they are approximately, let's say 15, almost, no, 14 by 8 1/4, 8 1/2 or so, which is really good because I'm making 4-inch bookmarks, sort of like the same thing that they have here. And the only reason why mine is so hard to crunch through is because I've already glued my edges down. So this right here is a sequence sheet that looks like this when you purchase it. It's a full sequence sheet, right? And you can flip the colors one way or flip the colors another way. They also have these in the crafting section under the Crafter Square brand in the Dollar Tree. So there's the same color that I used there. Here's a silver and, ooh, what is that? A silver and like iridescent pink and yellow kind of, So that's what that looks like. And here is a gold and silver, or more like a golden gunmetal color. Okay, so yeah, you can rotate these back and forth and get different patterns, etc. That's what these look like when you're looking for these, but this is what I came up with as a final product, which is very similar to this one. And I have also made a very similar project on my own prior to finding these at Dollar Tree. I'll put the link, I'll just put it right up here for you guys, okay? No big deal. So yeah, this is basically what I was working on this week. I made a couple of these, and all I used was the foam sheet and the sequence paper, or the sequence fabric, and I just ran a bead of glue all the way around. And the glue that I'm using is my, you can use Fabrifix, Fabri-Tac, or Beacon 3-in-1, but I actually used art glitter, and it worked out really well. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. So this is just an alternative to the previous project that we have. I guess I put it out last week. So I hope you guys had a smashing holiday. I know it was like Labor Day for most. Well, it's Labor Day everywhere basically, but some places celebrate Labor Day a little bit differently. I know in New York it's Carnival for Labor Day, and this week the kiddos are going back to school in New York and all those northern schools. Here in Arizona, all the kids are already back in school, so Labor Day was just another holiday where we barbecued and cooked out and had a good time. Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys had a great Labor Day, and I also wanted to say it's very special happy birthday to my niece Eden. She just turned 8, and her birthday was a couple of days before Labor Day, and then my brother's birthday, her dad, Eden's dad's birthday was just a couple of days ago as well, probably on Labor Day. So anyway, just a happy birthday to my family members, and I love you guys and hope to see you guys soon. So here are the projects that I was working on. So this again is just an alternative to these if you cannot find it. I took my felt sheets and I covered them in Mod Podge, right? So looking at these, they don't look as sturdy, of course, as a faux leather or leather piece, but they are pretty firm, okay? And I just basically cut mine into a 4x4 strip, and I was able to get, well, I would be able to get probably 6 out of this one sheet. So if I were to cut this down again here, let's see, 4 inches, so 9 to 5, I would cut it like right here at 5, okay? And I would get 6 of these from one sheet of this foam. Here's 2 more. Okay, and these aren't like the most sturdiest pieces of, you know, material to use for this particular project. All I did was put a coat of Mod Podge on it and it came out perfect. Okay, it's nice and firm, very sturdy. The ones that are less sturdy, again, just Mod Podge it. These came out so perfect, right? So firm and ready to be glued down a corner to. And yeah, it's really just a simple alternative to the previous, because not everybody has a full selection of stuff at their Dollar Tree. So I didn't want you guys to feel like you missed out on anything or was unable to do last week's project. I know it was just like a quick little tutorial on how to do the bead painting or whatever they call it. I don't know. It's like, I call it diamond beading, but I think Diamond Dots is a actual brand name, but I think this is called, like, I don't know, diamond painting or something like that. So again, here's an alternative to it. You don't have to, you know, hunt down all Dollar Trees trying to find this particular thing. It's easy to do with just the felt sheets and some sequins, and you can definitely make your own little design. Okay, if you want to go the extra step, you can definitely just use the felt sheet at the back side of this right here. Add a second felt sheet on top of it in that triangle pattern right here, and then put your own pattern of diamond dots all over it, or diamond painting all over it. I then sealed all of mine. Here, I'll show you guys what I sealed it with. It's called Triple Thick. I got it at Michael. It's by Deco Art, and it's called, you know, Americana Triple Thick. Americana, I believe, is the brand that's underneath Deco Art, and then Triple Thick is the Brilliant Brush On Gloss Glaze. So if you don't have a Michael's near you or can't find this particular product, again, Mod Podge works just fine. Okay, I even Mod Podged one of these just to see the difference. Mod Podge does leave like a little, it's a bit of a glazier look to it, right? But, and this is just a clearer version. So Mod Podge does look like a little white film kind of, but it's not a big deal. It does dry clear eventually, and oh, I got one of my beads that are out of place. Anyway, I'll fix that later. That's what happens when you brush on something like this. You do end up having to check your work to make sure that your beads don't slide out of place like I have right there. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you guys today. It's just a little alternative to the previous project that we've worked on in the past. So there's that. And again, they are very sturdy, so don't be afraid to give this a try. If you want to double it up, that's a possibility as well. Just run it through your sewing machine, double up the backing, the felt, and then add the sequence pattern sheets on top of it. Today what we're going to be working on is something completely different. I have found you know, I'm always thinking about like what else can I use to make covers for my journals. Okay, I went to Dollar Tree and I found acrylic boards. Okay, acrylic boards, something that you would normally use. I don't know, like I pondered what to do with this acrylic board, and it was twice this size. Okay, this right here measures 5 by 8, which is almost the size of what I would normally use for a journal cover. And I also found, I wish I had it with me, but I also found this table mat, right? It's a double-sided table mat. Here's what the rest of it looks like. It looks like this. It's double-sided, so you can either lay it on your table in the blue, back with the blue, or you can lay it on your table with this pretty floral print. And I just basically wrapped my acrylic mat, acrylic sheet around, or I wrapped the tablecloth around my acrylic sheet. And again, this measures 8 or 5 by 8, right? I think that's what I said it was. 9, 14, yeah, 5 by 8. And this is so cool because with the blue background, you can then take a what do you call it? One of those dry erase markers and write yourself a little note in between here. And all I did was just cover this up with a tablecloth. So, and again, I tried all kinds of glues. I tried all different glues. I don't know why none of them was willing to stick, but I finally got it all to stick down with art glitter. Okay, and it's basically the same concept as any of my other journal covers that we've done in the past, right? So it's basically, you just have your journal cover just like so. You line it up within the space available. You cut away your excess first, because that's something that I did not do with this one. I didn't cut away the excess prior to gluing it down. So here I'm just gonna cut away my excess, and it's just to get rid of the bulk, right? So that's all. That's the only reason why we're actually cutting into this really pretty fabric. So again, I would line it back up right about there and cut away the excess on this side. Now I'm using some wonky scissors, like these are not my again, I am out in Arizona. I am not in my craft room where everything is like fully accessible and readily available. So I'm just out here using what I have available on hand, right? So yeah, and with that process, you just want to check your corners, make sure that everything, when you fold it over, is covered. The corners are covered, because that's really important. So yeah, I just want to make sure that that's covered up. And then again, I will do the same thing with this side. Just cut away the excess, making sure that that acrylic piece is straight. And I'll show you guys what the acrylic piece looks like. I do have some video of it prior to me cutting it. So, and then cutting it is not difficult one bit. Like, all you need is a craft knife. Where's my craft knife? Here. All I used was a craft knife, because this is all I had, right? You may have something that's a little bit sharper and can cut through it a little bit faster, or a little, you know, something that's a little bit larger and can cut through it faster, but this is all that I had available. So this is what I used. It took quite a number of score marks before I can finally get it to cut through, but it worked, and I'm quite pleased with the straight cut that I ended up with, and how the first part of the cover turned out. So again, this is just my little prototype, because I wasn't sure if I was even going to do this video. Okay, but once I covered it, I realized, oh my gosh, I can do so much with this acrylic background here, with the blue you know, the blue background on the acrylic. And I'm like, yeah, this will be it'll make a very sturdy book cover. And again, I've just been like pondering, like, what do I need this for? Like, I've seen it at the Dollar Tree several times. I just kept looking at it like, what can I do with this if I were to buy it? And I thought it was more so for like a Cricut project or something of that nature, but again, I don't have my Cricut with me out here, so it almost made 0 sense for me to buy the acrylic board. But okay, so this is 5 by 8, multiply that by 2, so it's like 10 by 8 is the sheet. And yeah, once you score it down the middle, right, and then you end up with 2 5 by 8 sheets, and that's pretty much it, right? So then from there I would do my fabric, the fabric spine here in the middle, and I'm going to get my art glitter glue and show you how easy it is to just glue this up. I also have Fabrifix, so maybe I'll do 2 sides with Fabrifix, 2 sides with art glitter, but just to show you guys that it does work with either glue. Alright, so what I've decided to do is use my Fabrifix on the sides that's not stitched. So there is a stitched edge on the tablecloth, on the table mat that you would have purchased. It has a stitched edge all the way around. I cut away part of it, but you know, it's fine. But what I'll do is I'll use art glitter on the side that has the stitching and Fabrifix on the side that doesn't have the stitching. I don't know, maybe it'll work, maybe. I don't know. Anything's possible at this point because again, I only have 1 prototype. So, and I've never used this acrylic stuff before because I've always been hesitant to purchase it from the dollar store. But once you pull away that film that's on there, it's very clear, and apparently you can do a lot with it. I had no idea that it was possible to do so much with these acrylic boards, but I found out that there is something you can do with it. So I'm just going to glue this down right here. I'm also going to add some glue on the bottom here. This is just Faber-Tac, okay? And, or Fabrifix, they're all the same. Beacon 3-in-1, Fabrifix, Faber-Tac, what have you. They're pretty much all the same. So I'm just going to add ample glue on the side and the bottom. But I'm also going to add art glitter. If I can get it open with one hand. Okay, so I'm going to add art glitter on this side. Oh, I forgot. My art glitter is clogged. Hold on. 2 ticks, guys. Give me a second. I forgot my art glitter got clogged up the other day. So I have to unclog it with a needle. Not a problem. Easy to do. So yeah, I don't know why my art glitter is clogging. Could be the lack of humidity here in northern Arizona. It could be, I don't know, it could be anything. So I'm just trying to find a needle that has a point. And these are my darning needles. They're dull, you know. But I have one in here that has a pointy finish to it. So I'm going to open up my art glitter and release that clog that I have in here. Okay, and hopefully that's enough to get it to come through right here. Perfect. Yeah, that worked. Okay, so there's my art glitter on that side. I'm going to fold that side over. And we're going to fold this bottom edge up that already has Faber-Tac on it. And this one came out much cleaner than the previous. As you can see, I did get some glue like down here. You can see like it's a little, I don't know, maybe you can see the glue down there. But yeah, I tried all these different glues and nothing was working. So again, I settled on art glitter and Fabrifix, and that worked out really well. So I'm just going to put some more art glitter up here. Make sure I get the corners because that's where it matters the most, is to seal up those corners. And that's it. I'm going to place something super heavy on this to make sure that the glue dries really well. And then we will work on our spine and the signatures. Alright, 2 ticks. Alright guys, so I've gotten my two covers nicely covered with the tablecloth, and they're holding up really well. I had something really heavy sitting on this one overnight, and it looks really good. So here's the other part. I know you guys seen me do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch 1,000 times. This is the part that some of you may have missed in one of my previous videos where I showed you guys how to make a really easy journal with fabric so that the spine of the journal lays completely flat when you open up the book. What I've done so far is just did a 3-hole pamphlet stitch with the knot on the outside, right? And then I just tape the knots down, the excess string left over down with some, I used athletic tape. You can use whatever kind of tape you want, masking tape, whatever. This is the part that some of you may not understand. In order to get the book to lay completely flat, here's what we're going to have to do. Now I have my signatures organized in such a way that I know that they're all facing up, and this is my center signature. And I just use regular paper on the inside here. It's not a junky journal yet, but it will become one. So what I want to do here is add I want to add just a little bit of double-sided tape, right? So this is my roll of double-sided tape. I'm just going to mask the section right prior to the end of this tape that I've taped down the excess cord. And I use baker's twine for this. You can use whatever you want. If you have waxed cord or whatever that floss is. I don't think I've ever used that floss. I've never had any to use, but yeah. Anyway, whatever you have on hand is what you can use to tie your signatures together or stitch your signatures together. And from there, all I'm going to do is peel away the top layer of this double-sided tape, and I'm going to stick down my next signature on top of it. Okay, in addition to that, I'm just going to add some glue. You can use glue stick, you can use art glitter, whatever you want, but what you want to do is make sure that your glue goes to this side of the signature. You don't want any glue on the spine side, right? So I'm just going to add a little bit of art glitter through here. I think glue stick will probably work best, but these signatures they have a jacket, like a cover. So this is what's holding the whole book together. And you want to get these down as straight as possible, because this is what's going to be seen. And I'm just using, I had some Ghost, why are you crying? I'm sorry, my dog is over here whining. I had some 9 by 12 paper, I believe, and I just used them to make the jackets for each signature. So yeah, that's all you really want to do, is make sure that your outer section of each signature lines up, but you have a gap here at the spine side. I'm going to do the same thing for the next signature, and we'll just keep doing that till we get through all 5 of them. Okay, so I have all my signatures glued together. They're holding up really nicely. As you can see, the spine side of the signature has a little bit of give. It has a gap right here, so that when you do attach this together, it's all going to lay very flat when you open it, like so, right? So no matter where you go in the book will lay completely flat for purposes of writing or drawing or whatever. I found this really cool fabric at the Dollar Tree. I thought it looked so, I don't know, just so pretty. It caught my eye, and I noticed that it had a blue background, which I thought would look really good with the blue and white cover. And this is just a pop of color for the spine. And I just cut myself a little piece. I left off the oranges and grapefruits or lemons or whatever these are. Yeah, there's a grapefruit, there's an orange, probably a lemon. So yeah, I just left those sections off and just used the floral print. And all you're going to do is cover up that spine. So you're going to come in just a little bit. I want to say probably about an inch, inch and a half onto the signature here. And then you're going to wrap it all the way around to the back signature here and try to get it nice and even. So if you have an inch on the front, try to get an inch on the back. If you have 2 inches on the front, you know, the same. So yeah, this is what we're going to glue down, and you want to pull this really taut. I am using Fabrifix for this process, or Fabri-Tac, right? This is what I have on hand. You can use whatever you have on hand, but the only part that you're going to glue is right alongside here of the signature. You don't want to go anywhere past there. So if your fabric is larger than that, you're going to have to cut it down some. Do not get any glue on the spine, okay? You only want to go in about an inch, inch and a half with glue on the front and back covers only. So my fabric is a little bit longer. I'll cut that away afterwards when I'm done. And I'm going to give this a nice little smush and trying to get the fabric even, as you can see down here, even on both front and back before I pull it over to the other side to glue it down. So yeah guys, this is just my little simple way of making, well, it's not my way. I learned this from someone else but I found this to be like the most easiest way to make a junk journal. And you know, and again, the pages will lay completely flat, and that's really important when you're junking up a journal, adding embellishments, adding you know, different ephemera to the book, you know, just to make it your own. But in the process, the pages will lay very flat. What you don't want to have is a big gap anywhere, like down here in this section. So you may have to lift and pull your fabric to be just a little bit tighter on both the front and the back. Just making sure that they line up though, right? Because you don't want it to be too uneven where it's noticeable. So from there, we're going to cut away the excess fabric, and I'm just going to cut it roughly like so. Oh, I'm not even in frame, sorry guys. I'm just going to rough cut it and then clean it up afterwards. But I just want to get rid of the excess fabric so that we can move on to the cover. Yeah, so that's a really rough cut. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, I'll clean all of that up afterwards. You know, just to get rid of this excess fabric right there. Cleaning it up requires you to get really close to the signature, and that's one thing that I don't want to do, is cut the signature. And I'm sorry I was out of frame there too, but yeah, I don't want to cut the pages of the signature, so I tend to do that afterwards with a much sharper shears. These are just some Fiskars, or what are these? I don't even know. They're not Fiskar. But anyway, I'm going to use some much sharper shears to cut the fabric nice and neat. So wherever there's excess, if it's not glued down, feel free to just use a glue stick on it and just stick that down. There's a little bit here. So for the cover, the actual cover, not these covers, but the actual front and back cover. Normally what you would do is take the entire front page, this jacket here for the front signature, and glue the entire thing down onto the front cover. But because I like the idea of using this as a whiteboard, or you know, a note board or something like that, I may just glue it down only on this section here. But I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up. I'm not sure how sturdy that's going to be if it's only glued right there. And then will I be able to access that page, I mean the acrylic board there? I don't know. So I'm going to go with my gut on this one And yes, it's a waste of acrylic at that point, because I did say, yeah, you can use this as, you know, a note board or something with a dry erase marker. But at this point, I think I'm just going to do it the traditional way. I'm not sure if I'll even be able to access this once I glue it down on just a little section right there. It may require folding the page, this jacket page, and it's a bit much, right? Like, I don't want to go through all of that. So in any event, this is what the front cover will look like, and you can still see the spine here with the pretty fabric. And I'm going to glue down the entire thing onto this acrylic board. And yes, my cover is much larger than the book itself. It's supposed to be just a little bit larger. However, mine is a lot larger, which is perfectly fine with me. But this, I'm telling you, is the sturdiest cover you'll ever find out there to make a junk journal with. So this is what the cover will look like. It's going to have a bit of an overhang here and a bit of an overhang at the bottom, but it will eventually be just like so. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like, all you're going to do at this point, Fabrifix on your paper, or yeah, let's do the paper because the book cover is a lot larger. So I'm just going to Fabrifix my way across here and onto the fabric itself. I'm just trying to get the corners really well, the edges, but then also onto the fabric back here, because all of that's going to be on the cover. So not all the way to the edge, right? Only to about maybe 3/4 of an inch onto the fabric, depending on how much fabric you use, right? So it'll vary. But at this point, I'm going to hold it up this way so you guys can see. I'm just going to line it up ever so gently with enough overhang of the book cover. And yeah, and that's it. Boom, done. Right, now we have a cover. I'm going to put something very heavy on top of this to set overnight again. And again, we're just going to do Fabrifix or Fabri-Tac. Again, all of these glues are the same. They're all by the same company, Beacon 3-in-1, Fabrifix, Fabri-Tac. It's all by Beacon. So if that's what you have, then that's what you use, right? So, alright guys, I think we're just about done here. I'm going to leave you guys pretty soon. I may or may not have a video for next week. Just keep in mind, if you made it through this video this far, thank you for hanging out. I'm not sure if I'll have a video for next week as yet, simply because I'll be getting ready to go down to the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo down in Mesa, Arizona. So again, if you're out there, if you're down in Mesa, you know, look out for me. Give me a little shout. I'll be volunteering with the team down there at the convention center in Mesa. So again, this is how we're going to attach the back cover. Pretty much just eyeballing, making sure you leave a gap here at the top or the front, wherever it's considered for you. And once you do that, you want to make sure that your front and back line up evenly, because what you don't want to have is an uneven book cover, you know, the front from the back. So yep, I'm just doing that, making sure that everything lines up. That's the good thing about Fabrifix or Fabri-Tac. It allows you to maneuver your project so that you can get it nice and even. And here's the little gap that I was talking about. You don't want anything bigger than this on your fabric, okay? You don't want that gap to be any larger than that. You don't want it to be too tight so that you can't lay your book flat either. But yeah, the gap that you may see down here can't be any looser than that. All right, let's just show you how flat the book lays. Nice and flat. This is the center signature. Here is the center of signature 2. Right, so yeah, it really Oh, my book's upside down. Sorry. I'm like, wait a minute, something's wrong. Yeah, so here's my signature number 2. So yeah, it lays really flat and it's great for art or drawing or writing or what have you, right? Again, I am going to seal this section on both the front and the back so that there's no lifting or anything. And yeah, so this will be a very secure cover. Again, it's a little bit bigger than I wanted it to be as far as the cover is concerned, but it's perfectly fine. I like it. All right. Okay, guys, I will definitely talk to you guys in the next video. Don't forget to stay naturally curious. Go do something wonderful today, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Bye.